Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Last episode we talked about these voids, these lighter spots right here. And what that is air pockets that basically didn't get filled with adhesive or it didn't get pushed down all the way. And that's because the pressure plate was over on this side and underneath the whole thing, so we didn't have anything pushing it down right here, which you would in a vacuum bag situation. So to address this, first we're going to do a tap test. That way you guys can hear what you can do to detect voids. And then we're going to go ahead and do a drill and fill, which means drilling on one end, drilling another hole on the other end, and then you inject adhesive to fill the gap, fill the void, and give it the structural adhesiveness and transfer of load from the top to the bottom. So first thing when dealing with disbonds or voids in composites is you want to get like a big old metal washer or a coin, large coin, and then when you tap it on the surface, you will hear what it sounds like when it is completely compacted and there's no voids. Sounds like a higher pitch, right? It's conducting all the vibration outwards. And then as you go across, once you get to a void, it's going to create a dull sound. So listen to this. So you can hear that dullness. Granted, on this, because it's fiberglass, we can actually see the edges of it. You can still hear there's a little bit of a void there. That's a big void. So we know where the voids are, so we're not going to keep going with this, but just for your guys' awareness of what a tap test sounds like, you can use a tap hammer, you can use, like I said, a washer or a coin, or if you're really fancy and you have an ultrasonic conductive probe, you can actually take and go across the entire surface and it'll use ultrasonic to give you a readout of exactly how deep that void is. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to drill a hole basically right over here and then another hole over here, and then mix up some adhesive, basically the same epoxy resin we used before, inject it in here with some thickener, and then fill this entire void. All right, for the injection, what you do is you get yourself some of these dentistry needles or syringes, and as they go up, they taper down. So you can cut it to the taper hole of the holes that you drilled. That way you get a good seal, and then you can inject it down into the inside. So with this being basically 1/8 inch holes, I'm gonna leave it at the tip as it is. And then if I need to cut it back, I'll cut it back a little bit. So let's go ahead and mix up some adhesive and start injecting it in here.
Now this is what we want. We want it thick, but not like to the point where it's a hard paste. So this is just right. All right, here we go. We're gonna load it through the back side. Let's go ahead and start injecting. Let me bring you guys in closer for the next one so you guys can see better. So this is the one we just did, and you can see how much darker it is right now. So we can see this light one right here. Stick it in the hole and inject it, and you can see it start flowing outwards and filled in all of that void. Same thing here, look at that. All the way out to the end. Looks like there's enough air gaps between the fibers that some of it's pushing out outward, so we didn't really need the exit vents. This one's going to take a lot of adhesive right here, this big guy. And see how much it filled that in. Okay, I'm going to keep going with this, put you guys on time lapse. so we got rid of all the large voids. Let's let it cure.